patient with us. Both Candy and I will go through in detail a little bit about our strat plan. After we do that, we have another very big reveal that will also be something I promise you will want to hear. And at the very end, we're going to give away 10 free MLS subscriptions for next year. That's about $4,000 of door prizes. Do I have your attention now? Yeah. All right. Can I get an amen? Amen. Love it. All right. Thank you. I have it clicker now, right? All right. I should. So, starting the year out, we talked about it. We sent out a survey. We said, hey guys, tell us from your perspective, how do you see the board? How do you see the board? What's your vision? What things can we do to make your job better? How can we become a better, more efficient resource for you so that you see value in what we do? We also set a very similar, a similar survey at the same time to consumers. We received consumers that had purchased something in the last 6 months, and we wanted to know about the experience. What did they experience with their recent transaction with a Baldwin realtor? It was great and very good information. I'll be honest, I was pleasantly surprised at the information as it came in. I think all of us were. When we went through the information, you kind of have this suspectful worry that maybe it may not be as good as you would hope, but it was actually really good. But I will say this, it has room for improvement. The strategic plan, we are basically in the end of the 1 year of the inception of our plan. What does that entail? We basically narrowed it down. We've got, I'm sorry, I gotta click my button here. We've got 3 focuses that are the primary focuses that we have within our plan. And it is supporting private property rights, the delivery of the best tools and resources to ensure realtor professionalism, and the enforcement of the code of ethics. You say, why is that important? It seems pretty normal. That's kind of what I would think most associations would probably be focused on. Well, one of the things that we found out within the strat plan. That was all planned. Just distract you while I was fixing my ear. All right. I'm not touching it. It's like being at home. She's going to get me for that. Prior to this, we had, meanwhile, I forget what I'm saying. Meanwhile, we have, keep going. So prior to that, we had a task force. I think many of you know, with the BP oil spill that we had in 2010, we were over a long period of time, and last year we were awarded about just under $34,000. We wanted to find a way to reinvest that money back into the association. So understanding, we've got 2 parallels here. We've got our strat plan that we're working on, and we also have a task force. Can you go back to one? I think it's one slide. Oh, I see it. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. So the task force made up of Jay Jennings, Kevin Portman, Stephen Roberts, Caitlin Jones, and Gary Gilpin worked tirelessly. And basically, the directive we asked of them is, go find a way to reinvest this money in something that would benefit all of the membership equally. Do something that is going to make a difference, a positive change in what we do as far as the consumer is aware, and be able to do so and making these changes that will allow us to be better at what we do, okay? When we gave them that task, there was a ton of different things that would kind of have that come up. I don't know, Kevin, if you remember, but there were probably 8, 10 different ideas that were pitched. Eventually, what it came down to is real simple. We felt like, based on the information we received from our surveys, both from you and from the consumer, we needed to raise the bar at what we do. The consumer felt like they needed to have a better experience when it came to purchasing a property. Yes, I said we did well, but that was because the bar was pretty low, to be honest, for what expectations I was assuming that sometimes we get stereotyped for, but it actually has a lot of room for improvement. So, based on those two things, we felt like creating a consumer campaign would be an initiative that we could all get behind. To start with that, we needed a new look. For some of you, maybe it's called a facelift. You know, we were kind of getting dated. This was something that we felt like, hey, we are a new look, a new feel. Did it hit home? I'm sorry. Rance? Did I say something wrong? I think it was the facelift thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. Morgan, I'm sorry. The new look, the new feel. How do you feel about the logo? You've probably seen it around the building. What do you think? With that new look and with that new feel, it was also a big opportunity for us to go and start speaking to the consumer themselves. After we got our facelift, if you will, and got our new look, the next thing we needed to do is make them realize who we are and what we do. Understanding that there are a lot of distractions out there. People go and start their search in a lot of different capacities, especially if it's online. We all know that there are myriad of different distractions, I'll call them, or opportunities or places that they can go to get data. Do those things work if the realtor is not involved? Is the data supplied? Are the pictures there? Is the square footage measured? Are the listing agreements made? None of that occurs and allows that third party or that other distraction, if you will, unless a realtor is involved. Would you all agree? We are the source of where the real estate transaction starts. There is no reason we should not finish it. Would you all agree? Yes. Okay. So we identified that and said, okay, how do we educate the consumer? How do we get them to know that there is a value that they may not be recognizing because they're being distracted? Distracted by so many other things that are out there, and I get it. There's a lot of distractions. We get it every day. Text message, email, Instagram, Snap, whatever it is, and Facebooks, Spacetagrams and all that kind of stuff. It all comes in and you're going, what do? You have to take time. So what's typically what happens? You take the path of least resistance. It's whatever someone else told you. Maybe it was something new, something that was easy. And I'll be honest with you, part of our problem is we did a poor job at where we are. We're the victim of our own circumstance because we didn't take enough initiative to get where we need to be. And I say we as an industry, not just we here at Baldwin County, but we as an industry. So that's what happens. You see, these are prime examples of distractions and things and alternatives that people can go right now if they want to go and search for a home. Would you agree? Yes. There's one of them that probably sticks out more than others. I won't call the name of it, but it is probably one that so many get distracted by. Competition is everywhere, and the consumers have options. Why is the option not the resource? Why is the option that they go to first the place where the actual data and the place that it starts with? Why would you not go to the person that wrote the book? If you could talk to the author, don't you think they would know better than anyone else about the book? Wouldn't that make sense? Instead, we're going off, on a different tangent. We needed to inform the consumers that there is value in what you get when you hire a realtor. Understand that. What we also wanted them to do, one common thread we all share here, we're all realtors, but we're also, more specifically, we're all Baldwin realtors. If you're not a Baldwin realtor, please leave. We're all Baldwin realtors. We share that common bond. It is something we all have together. United, we are stronger. We have to educate people against the distractions. I promise you, this is something that is attainable, but it all starts with the first person saying, okay, yes, I see your statement, I understand what you're saying, and I'm willing to get behind it. I'm willing to take the first step to become better, to make the experience of the homeowner and the buyer process better, also to get you to the next level, which is to get away from the distractions. And maybe I have to make some changes in my current business strategy. Maybe I have to have a little bit of an annoyance because I've got a new password to put in or a new something I've got to look up and get. Guys, I'm the world's worst. I hate it when I have to type in my actual password. You know, if it wasn't for the save password thing, I probably wouldn't get into half of the things that I've got. I get it. But guess what? If we collectively are willing to take one step each, it gets better. We are united, we get better. Oh, sorry. She was waving at me like, hey, click the thing. United, we are stronger. It made a lot more sense up here when I was looking at it. So, what's the solution? We've already said it. We're the solution, guys. We're where it starts, we're where it finishes. We just have to educate the public and let them know that we are the purpose, we are the reason, and we are how things get better. We are how that their experience can be elevated, because it's not based on some algorithm and some software that they've logged into. This is something that real people do. You know, who's going to hold little Susie's hand while mom and dad walk into the closing? Is a computer going to do that? And I can go on and on. We all know what we're talking about. You know, who's going to listen to, you know, the problems that occur between the mover and the plumber because they didn't show up on time? Who's going to be the person that makes the phone call to get them to go in and sweep out the last little, you know, bit of dust because somebody, you know, felt like that the home wasn't completely clean to the level that they wanted it. We could all speak for days on all this stuff. You all have your own scenarios. But when it gets down to it, the experience is better because we're involved. Would you all agree? Yes, sir. Thank you. I hope that I wouldn't have much trouble with that. Need to know, we're their advocates, we're their advisor, and we're their experts. That is part of the campaign, and that is something that we were going to base our consumer campaign on. But ultimately, what we want to do, there are a lot of realtors out there. Just hit next or whatever you got to do. I'll just put this up. I'm gonna screw it up. One more if you don't mind.
He's trying.
Or not. I'll just tell you all about it. It looks great up here. Seeing the Baldwin difference. We are the difference because we are local and we know the area better than anyone. So understanding that and promoting that is part of the campaign. Candy is going to go and explain to you a lot more about that and give you the specifics on how we're actually going to get that to the public. The Baldwin vision, when we came back to our strat plan, we said, what do we need to do in order to get to the public that is not cooperating? There we go. Yay! All right. One more. I'm just not going to push on hard. Okay, Baldwin's vision. So our vision from our strat. All right, I want to remind everybody, whenever we have a new budget line item that's for audio and video, this is why, okay? Just remember this. Mike is clapping. The vision for the Baldwin Realtors is to be the most sought-after association whose members are the most professional, elite and professional in the region. How do we separate ourselves? Because there are realtors all over the United States, and we know that when it comes to our backyard, we know this place better than anyone else. Would you agree? Yes. It's a little less, but that's okay. Very good. All right, so in talking about the vision, now we've got to get to the marketing strategy. What are we going to do to let these people know that, and how are we going to prove it? There we go. Okay. So positioning the value. One of the three main topics and the three main focuses we're going to have is we are the expert, which we just talked about. We're also their advisor. We're also the person that gets them off the ledge whenever, you know, the end of the world, whenever they countered my offer. I cannot believe they would counter my offer. It's so great. Just 90 days due diligence and no earnest money, and I didn't realize that my cousin's nephew's uncle couldn't finance the home from me. We all know the story. The advisor that gets them to where they need to be, that some computer and software system cannot do. The other is we are their advocate. I don't know if any of you know or were aware of, but this past year, Orange Beach tried to pass an ordinance that would restrict the short-term rental for a number of several hundred homeowners that are single-family homeowners within Orange Beach. We were very active in making sure. Jennifer Fauch is our Government Affairs Director. Jennifer, raise your hand. Stand up for a second, Jennifer. Bo Blackwell did a great job with the government affairs this year. We were very active in a lot of other things, but that being probably one of the most specific that I can tell you, and I'll be the first to admit this, when this first came up, I said, guys, y'all might as well just roll your carts up, let's head on back. I can tell you, this is going nowhere. And I thought, this is gonna be a lot of time, effort, energy spent with zero results, because they are steadfast in what they're gonna do, and I know of one person that's down there that is unwilling to change his mind. Let me tell you who made some changes. This association made changes. It was because of the advocacy. It was because of Jennifer and Sheila and a bunch of others on the Government Affairs Committee and other volunteers that came together and said, you know what? We understand out there that there are property rights that people need to stand up for. Who collectively can go and do what we did? No one. There's no organization out there. Maybe the home builders could, but they don't have as vested the interest on existing properties as the real estate agents do. We're the ones that are here. We're advocating. I would be willing to bet most members did not even know we did that. And most had no idea from a consumer standpoint that even is something we would do. It is a big part of what we do, and it's something we all stand for. So one more great reason to say, hey guys, not only are we working for you as the listing and selling agents to help you in the transaction, we're also making sure that your property rights don't get changed unless it's for the benefit of you. That's a huge opportunity, and it's a huge responsibility that we have as realtors. And I don't think that most understand that. So education is going to be key here, and making sure, again, we raise the bar. We become the source of all real estate things that people understand and know. You with me still?
Yes.
Have I started sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher yet? You want me to click it or you do it?
Go ahead and click.
All right. Dum, 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 dum. I got the time. Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot. Yeah. So here's the real story. We have through a consultant and outside marketing company that we have hired, have been able to create some really, really good collateral for each of you to start to use. Again, this goes back to what are we doing collectively to be able to educate the public about what we do. This collateral was created, and it is also, the website is up if you were trying to go there and find out the number for the trolley that was going to come pick you up. That was BaldwinRealtors.com. If you have not gone there yet, it is an incredible brand new face. This was the website started about 3:30, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon when it launched. Guys, a ton of time, effort, and energy has been spent here. This is what you would expect from a public-facing website to help people go and have a better experience when it comes to searching for properties. It is something that I'm very proud of, and I know that this board and the time and effort that they spent to get it to here, along with Sheila and the staff, it is well worth what we did, because I know that the consumer will be changed once they get here. In addition to that, we have a ton of information that was going to be, if you look, take a second, look on your table. I think most of this is on there, right? Don't open anything yet, or filter through it.
Just look at it.
Yeah, Candy's gonna do that. Understand that this is brandable for you, and it is something that we have created so that you can help us in the campaign. Again, understanding that united, we are stronger, and that we can actually make a difference. One thing that we've got to remember, this is a big, bold claim. We're saying we're the experts. I want you to look to the person to your right now, and tell them, I feel like an expert. Just say, I feel like an big, bold claim. I am an expert. Everybody know one of those people got some story, they've always got one better, they're the expert. Maybe who's not an expert in technology, and that would be me. It's a big, bold claim. So what are we saying? We have to get better. I don't care who you are in this room, I don't care how long you've been in the business, we all have room for improvement. When we do that, it will make the campaign that much stronger. It will make us that more prevalent in the eyes of the consumer. It will make us that more of an effective force together to know that when they come to Baldwin County, when a consumer shows up and they come to Baldwin County, they use a Baldwin Realtor, hands down, nobody else. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Amen.
Love it. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Can we, that would be like the one slide I'd really love to share.
One more time.
You're clapping because you think I'm done. Yes, okay. Here's the best way that I can explain it. An epiphany last night came over me. And I said, all right, you're a consumer, wherever you say. You're sitting in your living room, sitting on your couch, and you say, I am ready to move to Baldwin County, Alabama. Typically, what are you going to do? You're going to reach out, you're going to go to the internet, and you're going to search some website, okay? If you could go to the website that the resource came from, all of the data came from, or you had an alternative, which would you prefer to go to? The source?
Yes.
You would want to go to the source. Here's kind of the landscape we have now, to be honest. What we have today, in a lot of cases, is it's a road, it exists. So to get a consumer from A to B, A being the home they're in now, B being the new home they want to be in, that road has got a lot of work that needs to be done, okay? It's existing, it's navigable, they can make it, but it's got opportunities too for what's on the right, detours. Detours that are paved, really nice, well lit, have tons of things that benefit them in the experience, okay? The third-party vendors that are out there. Right now, too often people are taking a detour from A to B and going on the detour with outside sources that are not the source. Does that make sense to you? And do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
What we need to do is improve ourselves, working harder together to be able to make what ultimately would be our road to success, and that is making the experience for the consumer the best that it can possibly be, getting their awareness, and making sure they understand that when they use a Baldwin Realtor, they're using the expert, they're using the advocate, and they are using the person that will also stand behind them and get them from A to B. Make sense to you?
Yes.
Let me get an amen. Here's the best part of the whole program. Candy is going to come up, and she is going to get you through. Yeah, I know you're ready. She's going to take you. I've kind of got you to this part. What she's going to do is finish this up and show you what the implementation of the new consumer program campaign, is going to do. Candy?
I'm going to attempt to put this thing back on. See how that works out. Okay, I think that's all I got. Can you guys hear me all right? Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kim. I should have taken it off the first time. That's perfect. Thank you. Not too loud. So thank you, Troy, for sharing about the focus that led us to the big reveal of our strategic plan. Our association is only as strong as our commitment to the future. And looking around this very crowded room, I have to say thanks. I'm overwhelmed. And I appreciate you all being here. But looking around this room, you represent the membership of Baldwin Realtors. And today, you're here to learn what our association is doing for us today and tomorrow. So our leadership team is a collective group of members in this very room. and we come from all different segments of the market. We all work across Baldwin County. You might be a broker, a manager, you might be a buyer's agent, you might be a young professional, you might be someone brand new to the business, or maybe you're brand new to the area. Like me, I work in primarily the beach market, so I deal with a lot of investment property. So it's really important as leadership that we have a collective group that is diverse over this ginormous county that we work in. So our role in leadership is to guide the organization. And together we're dedicated, we're like-minded, and we're accomplished professionals. We commit our time and our energy to making our industry and our real estate environment better for all of us. That's why we're all here today. Troy mentioned, I guess I need to get the slide going here. Maybe I'll have better luck. Uh-oh. Did I do that? Troy did it.
My fault.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do the best I can with this clicker. So anyway, Troy mentioned earlier in his discussion about where our focus started. And part of that was with surveys that we sent out to membership. We needed to understand and have an honest assessment of what you guys were thinking. We're part of the group too. We needed to understand what direction we needed to go in. We need to know what our strengths were, and we need to know where the opportunities for improvement might be. And so the results of that research are really invaluable to us and really became the foundation for our strategic thinking and our planning to move forward. So I want to share with you guys a little bit about what we really learned. We learned that you're most satisfied with the association staff. And they do a terrific job, and I think we all recognize that. But that's important to us. They're vital to what we do every day. When we need help, we call them. You also told us that you were really pleased with the information that we provide about industry trends, legislative and legal issues, and the monthly market data. You probably remember seeing that in the newsletters that come out on a regular basis. We appreciate that you telling us the things that we're doing right, but what's important to most of us is how we can improve our business and how Baldwin Realtors can be a part of that and make a difference in our day-to-day operations. So here's what you told us was most important from a business perspective. Sorry. I hate to get too happy clicking and it goes 10 slides ahead like that just happened. Okay.
Let's go back.
Okay, did you put it back?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So anyway, so we've told us what was important about your business. Forms and contracts, number one. And as Troy mentioned, we have an amazing contract, and I was so pleased to see how many of you in this room are using that contract. It's a huge improvement from where we've been, and it's just another representation of what our association is doing and how hard we're working to bring things to you that are important to your business. Education, number two. Like Troy said, 72 courses this year. That is substantial. And for those of you who've been part of this association for the past several years, that's really monumental. We've come a long way. And the third thing is that relevant information about industry and business topics is important to you. You want to know what's going on around you. You want to know how to keep up with the herd, not get left behind. So your feedback contributes to our strategy.
Don't click.
Don't click?
Don't click.
Should I just click?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so your feedback contributes to our strategy, which brings us back to our vision. And as Troy said before, our vision is about Baldwin Realtors being the most sought-after association with the most elite professionals in the region. So how do we get there? It's strategic thinking and planning that gets us there. We needed to uncover the biggest issues that could affect that vision. So as we move forward in our strategic plan, we'll be conducting more focus groups, additional studies, in the coming months especially, to continue to identify the ways we can develop professionalism, enhance professionalism, and track that in our business. That's how we believe Baldwin Realtors becomes more relative to you. Oh, okay, that's the right one. Okay. I was thinking there was another slide there, but okay. So anyway, we're working together to show the consumers why working with a realtor should be their only option. We know that how we deliver on this promise of value as a realtor has to be as strong as the why we do it. So with your real success in mind, this is how we develop the campaign to move forward. We want to take professionalism to the next level for years to come. We talk about it all the time. It's the biggest common complaint that we have in our business. People want more professionalism with the people that they work with. So real success might mean something different to everybody, but we're here to help you deliver on that new promise. So with that, we went to work to chart the path for our future, and we identified 4 specific goals that'll take us into the next couple of years. And I just want to share those with you. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, all right. So anyway, so what we learned in our first strategic goal is that until the public is clear on the value of using a realtor, we're going to continue to be frustrated because they're looking everywhere else. That's where we got to start. But what we do know is that most people that have used a realtor before will probably use them again. So what we have to do in our challenge to move forward is to influence those who start their property search online first. Or for those people who feel like maybe selling the property themselves is the right opportunity, the best channel. So our first strategic goal is for Baldwin Realtors to be the premier online search resource for South Alabama property. We want the consumers to come to Baldwin Realtors, not anywhere else. Because like Troy said, we are the experts in our market. Why aren't we not driving them to the place where they're going to get the best information, the most reliable information? So as Troy mentioned, we've already updated the website to some extent. We really encourage you to check it out at baldwinrealtors.com. You'll see the improvements that we made. We're going to continue to make those improvements. And it's also going to be part of our consumer advertising that will point to the website, which will allow us to measure and track the results from the efforts from our consumer campaign. So just as a reminder, please check that out when you get a chance. I think we're going to show you, okay, this is going to be just a sampling of what that homepage is going to look like. It's going to be consumer focused, but members will still have a separate section to log into for any tools and resources that you need and what you're accustomed to. And part of this new change for the website really incorporates part of what our next strategic goal is, which is huge. It's probably the most excited I am about any goal that we have. For professional training and certifications to identify our members as experts. Several of us take classes on different opportunities to be specialists in our market, but they're so much broader. They're not specific to Baldwin County a lot of times. So what we learned that beyond keeping your license, you have the opportunity to stand apart from everybody else. How can we differentiate ourselves? How can we raise the bar for professionalism? So if our vision is to be the most sought after association whose members are the most elite in our profession, in the region, this goal directly relates to that. So strategic goal number 2 is for a specific professional training and certification process. This will help identify members as an expert for specific parts of the real estate process. This goal is part of the consumer campaign, which will include these additional credentials. for specific market segments, whether it's for the beach market, whether it's for retirees, whether it might be a second home, an investment property, commercial property. These are really important focuses, and we don't all focus on the same thing. So we felt that this would be a really great opportunity to differentiate ourselves and really raise the bar for professionalism. Because I can tell you, from what we've learned so far, it's not happening all over the place. It's not happening. So anyway, so the work group for this specific goal has two key factors. First, we want to develop the certification program because we need to determine how the program's going to work. We need to see, are there other similar programs across the country maybe that can give us some insight? And how can we evaluate those and make changes that fit to the dynamic of what we're trying to accomplish? We need to figure out how we're going to promote those certifications. Where are we going to promote the certifications? How are we going to publicize the members who are specialized in these particular areas? One of the ways we want to do that is part of the improvements to the website. We really, as we drive consumers to this new consumer-facing page, we want to be able to say, hey, if I'm looking for somebody who can help me with commercial property, where can I send them? If I'm looking for investment property and I'm interested in an ROI, who can I talk to that I know is going to understand what I'm looking for? So that's something that is really important to us in this part of the process. We're even looking into a tiered membership structure, which is based on the certifications. That would really encourage me to want to get a little bit more educated and become more knowledgeable about what I say I'm an expert in. Secondly, there are other elements of professionalism that we know that we need to help our members to deliver a consistent message to the consumers for all sides of the transaction. So this work group is also going to be very focused in working with the Alabama Association of Realtors and also the Real Estate Commission, because we feel we need to strengthen our licensing requirements and our CE. We want to develop our own local criteria above the state requirements so that we can elevate and differentiate Baldwin County. We don't want to be like everybody else. We want to really stand out and make a difference. And together we feel like we can do that. Part of this process in developing a consumer campaign is really just the beginning of where we're going. When we talk about a realtor, we do talk about an advocate, an advisor, and an expert, but we've got to walk the talk. We got to promote this to the consumer. We've got to believe in it, and we've got to convince them that we're sincere and that we really are the expert. So our strategic goal number 3 is about providing opportunities to engage realtors in publicity, political representation, and community involvement so that we can earn the credibility that stands behind the words that we're speaking. So our strategic goal number 3, which we just talked about, there's many examples of how the association is already focused in this area. Troy mentioned it before when we talked about what's happening what we dealt with in Orange Beach earlier this year. We care about personal property rights. We care about our schools. Look at the changes that are going on with that. There's a lasting impact that we're able to make within our community, and it's long lasting. It makes a difference in people's lives for who work and who live in our community, and for the people who are outside of the area, for that matter. I want to mention to you that these work groups are going to include several members, and certainly this is an opportunity. If you're not signed up for a committee or a work group, now's the time to think about it. If you really want to make a difference and have an impact and have some say in the direction that we're going with this, we encourage you to get involved. It's not too late for that, for sure. And also part of what we do, each of our goals will have a board liaison and a staff liaison so that we can keep on task and keep the momentum flowing. And I also want to mention to you, I meant to point this out a second ago. On the table, Troy mentioned this earlier, not to open it. I hope some of you have started looking at this. But specifically, you can see these little pamphlets talk about our initiatives, our goals, and our areas of focus. Take them with you. Share them with one of your colleagues. Leave them around in your office. They're here for you to use and to take with you. They're not just for table decoration. There's a lot of thought and effort and time that went into preparing these, and we're really proud of them. It's the most professional thing I think we've done in a really long time, and it's really our opportunity to help stand out. So I want to go into finally our fourth strategic goal. We're really glad that about 50% of our membership is very satisfied. Not just a little satisfied, but very satisfied. And that is a direct result of the survey information that we received earlier this year. But we felt like there was just another opportunity that we needed to explore. How can we be really clear to a new member, or even someone who's been in the business for a really long time, so that you know what to expect out of your membership, making it more valuable to you? So our strategic goal number 4 is to discover and deliver a clear expectation for what Baldwin Realtors should matter in your business. Part of our services and tools that we, as the membership, provide and deliver so that you want to be involved, so that you are proud to be associated with Baldwin Realtors. And I can tell you that in all the years that I've been part of this membership, which is probably since 1998, actually that's 20 years. But I can tell you that in the past 5 years has meant more to me than any other time before, because I got involved. And the fact that you guys are sitting in this room, I know you're here to support the membership. I know you're here to support me. Thank you, Remax and Gulf Shores. But it's just important to be involved, and it makes a difference. So it's important for us to know what we can deliver to you. So a few of the examples that we're working on is the member value work group, where we collect all of the data, the feedback from the members, and then we evaluate where the gaps are at. What changes can we make? What improvements can we make? One of the big reveals, and maybe I should keep this to myself at this point, Troy's going to talk about it. Troy's going to talk about it. But part of these examples of what we're trying to do to really make Baldwin Realtors more important and more valuable to you and in your day-to-day business is, again, the work groups. What are we learning from you guys? What do we need to do to make changes? How do we need to improve? Are there opportunities for group insurance? We've talked about this for years and years and years. You know, how can we provide more options for affordable coverages? Maybe for health care, maybe for E&O, other opportunities for benefits that are more competitive plans, more affordable pricing, cost savings. And then also, finally, a broker involvement work group. We need to focus on learning from our brokers specifically, what do you need from the association? So as I mentioned before, on your table, you're going to see all of these things, the strategic plan, what Troy talked about before. We are the real expert, we are the real advisor, and we are the real advocate. We need to make sure the consumer understands that. We need to be shouting that from the rooftops, because we should be proud to be that. I think, let's see, we talked about that. I think we're good there. How are we doing on time? Okay, thank you. At the end of the day, guys, we're motivated, and I'm super excited about what we're doing here and the direction that we're going. We are an inspired leadership team. We're looking for committed and determined members just like you to unite with us and help us on this journey. Help us learn. Help us be better. You know, I think sometimes brokers are looking for ways to build some consistency with their agents. This goes back to the broker involvement work group. We want to help. Maybe it's a new realtor who wants to get the very best start the day that they get licensed. we want to invest in your real success, and we're committed to taking the steps to do that. So I want to talk real quickly about co-branding. Troy touched on this subject earlier today. I want to share with you that I brought business cards, hopefully enough for everybody. I would welcome you to call me at any time. But one of the things that you might notice in looking at that business card is I've co-branded with Baldwin Realtors. I am proud to be a member of this association and to show my affiliation. Thank you. And so I've added on my own business card our new Baldwin Realtors logo. It's classy, it's sharp, it's professional, and it shows that that's how I want to do my own business. Sharp, professional. So I want to talk to you about the co-branding because you need to understand that this is a way for you to expand on and tell your story. So the co-branding, can you move that to the next slide? Okay. Well, while we're looking for it, the co-branding, as I mentioned, like on my business card, you can take your, okay, there it is, thank you. You know, your company logo. You can use this in your listing presentations. You can use this in any kind of display marketing that you might want to utilize. These are actually designed for full-page magazine ads, and they promote the difference between the realtor and the rest of what else is out there. So in the next wave of the campaign, which is coming forward in 2019, we're going to introduce to the public through multiple media sources. Some of the examples for that might be television, might be radio, might be social media, definitely social media, display ads in some local magazines, and traditional billboard advertising. So you're going to start to see these pop up around the county. So be looking for it. Be part of that movement. Embrace that. And so our goal ultimately is to spread the word and raise awareness about the value of the realtor in Baldwin County. Also want to share this with you. These finally came in, and I'm super excited about it. I want you to take one of these with you, you peel it right off, and stick it on your window. This represents who we are today and who we're going to be tomorrow, Baldwin Realtors. So please take one. I think, where are they at, Sheila? In the back? Okay, we'll pass them out on the way out. I think I'm ready to close. Sorry, y'all. This is so new for me to stand in front of such a large group of people. If you knew how nervous I've been to this point, you'd really have some sympathy for me.
But you did great.
Well, I appreciate that,
Awesome.
Charlie. You know, Sheila told me when we first started talking about this, she said, just speak from your heart. And I'm a very emotional person too. So Sheila, you were killing me up here earlier. But in speaking from my heart, this year in presidency has nothing to do with me. You know, I'm just another person, another volunteer who's committed my time to making this a better place for me, and a better place for all of you guys. We've accomplished so much, and over the years, it's been amazing to me to see what all we've done. I can't even hardly remember all of it, it's so much. But it's very purposeful, it's very thoughtful, it's planned, you know, and how we implement this moving forward is just crucial. So we've taken a lot of time to really stage the direction of where we're going. So with Sheila and Troy as past president, you're going to be around for just a little bit longer. And all the board members, the committee members, the task forces, I can't even begin to tell you how many people that represents. It's huge. And it takes all of us united with the same message to move forward and make a difference. So it will be my privilege to be part of the association, the board of directors, and your president coming in, I guess I'm here now, as your current president, to move forward in this progress, in this movement, in the very best way possible. We are dedicated to your real success. I am dedicated to your real success. and I appreciate all of you guys being here today with us. So I think it's time for me to turn it over to Troy for one of the biggest announcements that we have today. Troy, are you ready?
Sure. Standing up felt good, didn't it? Yeah. All right, I've only got about 2.5 hours worth of PowerPoint left, and guys, I'm going to be very brief. We have 3 quick things to go over. I can do it as well. And then Candy can do it in 10 minutes or less. 12 minutes, 15. Let me just tell you, what I'm about to tell you is, first of all, I want to thank Candy for everything that she has done and getting up here and explaining that. I know that wasn't easy. That is a lot of information. We have all had a ton of time to digest that. Understand, there is so many hours that have been put in to get to where we are, to be able to deliver it to you, and you will be hearing more about the consumer campaign and all that we're going to do. Next is something that I am very, very passionate about. This board has spent a ton of time working on, and I'm going to tell you, for some of you, this is about to be a major game changer when it comes to benefit of your membership. It will not only be a game changer, it will also be the first in the state. We will be the first in the state to do this as an association from the association standpoint. I'm going to tell you a very, very minuscule part of the information, purposely. It is not going to be opened up for questions, but I'm going to tell you now, you're going to have 1,000,000 questions, okay? That's the reason we have a team of people here that immediately following the end of the meeting, you're going to have 2 places, 2 meeting rooms, the board room and our training room that is right off the foyer. You'll be able to go into both of those and hear multiple people speak more in depth about what I'm about to reveal. I feel like I need a drum roll. Can I get a drum roll? Andy alluded to it, but guys, your association is about to offer you group health care, vision, and dental. Candy was kind enough to let me give this information to you. It is a team effort of a lot of people. Tim, is the day not been soon enough that you and I will not have to be on another conference call with third parties and everyone else? Tim Hudnall and his team from Blue Cross Blue Shield are here. They will be here. We have about, where are the FAQs? They are. Yeah, there's a couple more slides. So if you'll, I'm not touching that.
The important slide.
Yeah, so here's the deal, guys. There's going to be 2 different plans, okay? I'm gonna give you something very personal. I will tell you that I personally will save $6,318 per year on premiums alone for not only the same, but actually better coverage on my own personal health care with Blue Cross Blue Shield now. Just to give you an idea of the kind of health care premiums you're about to receive. This is not a third party. This is not anything else. We are working direct with Blue Cross Blue Shield, Tim and his team, to be able to offer you what is really 2 customized plans. They really went out of their way to work with us because we're the first to be able to deliver this to you. And we feel like that it is something that is incredible. I'm not going to go through all the details. That's what they're going to do. That, in addition to the FAQ. For many of you, that sounds great. You say, as a member, that's awesome. I currently have health care, and it's through a third party, a group, whatever. No problem. No problem at all. Not something you have to take part in. But let me tell you this. All coverage is not the same. I, unfortunately, have learned more about coverage of policies than I ever want to know for the rest of my life. But I can tell you, you owe it to yourself to take 10 minutes and review the policies and make sure you're comparing apples to apples. We went through and customized prescription coverage, So you're basically gonna have an A and a B plan. The A plan will be a higher premium with a lower deductible. Less exposure for you, still very affordable in comparison to my current premium, significantly less per year. There is also a Plan B, Plan 2, that has a higher deductible, but a much lower premium as well. That includes for an individual, for you and a spouse, for you and your family, and then also full family coverage, okay? That's about all I'm gonna tell you, and I know you've got 1,000 other questions, but this FAQ, can you click the, here's the other big part that's a huge benefit. This does not only stop with you as a member. This will be extended to employees and to affiliates as well. So you as a member will be able to extend this to the people that are in your office, and you will be able to give them the same health care coverage that you have. How about a big round of applause? Here's some crucial dates I want to make sure you guys know. Here's something you need to know. There's an email going out now or in the next 20 minutes, 10 or whatever. So all the information will be on it. We are going to promote this between now and November 15th. Getting the word out, letting people know and understand what's going on with it. Give me all the questions I need to know about this. Between now and November 15th, you have all that time to do this. On November 15th, enrollment will open. Enrollment will open through a portal. Again, all this information will be sent to you. The enrollment, I'll make sure I'm clear here, the enrollment will only be from November 15th through the end of the year, December 31st. After December 31st, if you are a member today, you will not be eligible for enrollment until 1 year from now, okay? So you have to look at this now. If it's something you look at and you don't want, no problem. Move on. No harm, no foul. But if it's something you want to do, we've got all the information that's going to be provided for you through Blue Cross Blue Shield and through the building department, okay? What did I miss? November 15th, enrollment goes live. You will see more emails than you'll ever want to know about this, I promise you. Some of you are going to be sick of it. For those of you that's not, there's going to be a ton of other meetings. There are several brokers in this room that have already scheduled Tim and his team to go out throughout these next 45 days and come to you personally in some of the bigger brokerages. And also, we've got 6 different meetings that will be held here at different times. Guys, the information will be available to you if you want to know